Hi, this is Willow from the Business Library. Today we're going to look at Business Source Complete and we're going to find industry profiles. Okay, so this is the Business Source Complete resource if you're not familiar with it. It does have a lot of different information in it. So you can see here that there are lots of journal articles and magazines. There's some options there. There's a search bar at the top, of course, as well that you are free to use. But there's also this additional content below, and that's what we like to focus on when we're talking about business information often. And you can see there are company profiles. We have some here. We have some country reports. We have industry reports and so on if you see the other options below, right? But we're going to focus on industry reports specifically today. So we're going to click on that. And there are some additional options on how to access these. There are reports by country, by provider, by sector, and regional reports. So first off, we're going to look at these industry reports by sector to just give you a broad thing. So often, sectors are a lot bigger than specific industries, and so they cover kind of more broad information. But here you can see the different options. We can look at automobiles and components and take a look here. And within here, you can see that there's some additional kind of links to reports below, but there's this major sector report at the top. And we can take a look at this report and see that it is going to be pretty broad, but it's going to have some general information about the automobile and components sector. Okay, so that's one way to get at these. The other thing that I wanted to show you is if we go back here, we can also take a look at industry reports by provider. Okay, and this is something that you might not know of, but here we go. If we look at, we can see the different providers that are giving us these types of reports. And there's some really great reports from all of these different providers, but one in particular that we really like to look at is market line reports. There's some great industry reports within here. So we can click on market line here, and it's going to take us to a list of all of the market line reports. You can see how many are there, over 25,000. Okay, so for me particularly, I often want to look at US reports. And so the easiest way to do that is if you go to the filters at the top, all filters, and we select on the side of the geography and we select United States and apply, then it reduces it to just US reports. So that's really quite useful, okay? So there's still almost 900 reports here, and you could scroll through. You can also add a search term at the top. But what we're going to do is just look at the filters a little bit more. So if we go back to the add filters, we can go to subject here as well. And within this, we can actually search for different subjects, right? So I'll give you some examples. We can search for, retail, and not a lot comes up, right? So just be careful with the search terms that you're using. We could search for cars, right? And you can see there's a hybrid electric cars report that comes up. Okay, and we could search for automobiles here. And so you can see here, if I type in auto, I get automotive, transportation, electric automobiles, and automotive manufacturing. Okay, so this is kind of a controlled vocabulary they're using. So I can select all three of those and click apply. And then what it's going to do is bring up those. So an interesting thing that I like to show you is that when I typed in cars, not a lot came up, but when I type automobiles, a lot or a few different came up. So you really have to be careful with the terminology you use. So here we can see that there's a hybrid electric cars report. There's a general car manufacturing, additional hybrid ones. There's a road freight as well. Okay, so here we can see it has the date of the most recent report, which is nice here. There's one in June. This general car is April, and we can click on these reports. Okay, so within here, if you go to access options, we can see that we can download the PDF. So we can click on that, and that PDF is going to pop up. Okay, and then we get these nice market line reports here. And if we scroll down, we can see that there's like some great executive summary information like market value forecast, volume forecast, segmentation, and things like that. Okay. And we can scroll down more and see here's like the table of contents. We can get really into a lot of different information, including some, great segmentation information, some forecasting information. There's a 5 forces analysis as well. Okay. So tons of great information in here. We could scroll down and take a look at something in more detail maybe. maybe, yeah, here's maybe some charts that might be worth looking at. So here's some market data. We can see what's happening within this industry, okay, and a lot more of that volume data. So these market line reports are really great. You can get a lot of great information from them. So please take a look. Thanks.